Chicken and the egg, which one comes first? Well, this is a popular myth or a popular riddle that everyone tends to try to solve. If you are a beginner freelancer out there, you may be into graphic design, you are into copywriting, you are into any other skill. One step is to learn a skill, then the other step is to monetize your skill. So as a beginner, you definitely don't have any jobs, but then you are required to showcase jobs that you've done in the past for you to be able to secure a job, which is what I call the loop. In this session today, I'm going to show you how you can eventually craft a high quality portfolio and how you can overcome the loop using these simple steps that I'm going to outline in the video today. So without wasting much of a time, let's go through this quick presentation. Welcome to today's session. And today's session, we're going to be looking at creating a winning copywriting portfolio. Following the series that we've been doing so far. So we've talked about writing copy. We've talked about, everything that has to do with your mindset coming into this training. So today we are going to be looking at creating a winning copywriting portfolio. And without wasting much of time, let's get started. Now, let's start with the basics. Most times people talk about creating a portfolio. Most people don't even understand what a portfolio is. And I'm going to explain that in the next few minutes. Okay. But now you need to consider why you need a portfolio. You need to also understand what components make up a portfolio. So with the basics, these are the things that we are going to be looking at. So why exactly do you need a portfolio? So first of all, a portfolio is a compilation of all your works to show your experience and possibly your strength areas. Now, as a beginner, your portfolio helps you secure high-paying jobs. So it proves to your client that you are capable to handle such jobs. So consider it this way. So if you're an entry-level person or an entry-level creative who is looking to venture into a particular role and you don't have much jobs to show for it, the best way you can, of course, demonstrate your expertise is by crafting a portfolio. Now, the components of the portfolios are the next things we are going to be looking at. So for me, I break down the portfolio components into two key areas. So one is structure and organization, and the other one is content. Now, for your structure and organization, so I tell people there are two different types of portfolio that we are going to look at. But for you as a writer, you can go for the simple portfolio. Now, there's another form of portfolio, and this is for creatives such as web designers or maybe graphic designers, where you have to create a portfolio and then you design it off on the internet, right? So, but for this particular portfolio we're talking about today, we are going to be looking at your portfolio created using Google Drive, since you are going to be working with documents. Now, for a writer, being a writer gives you that flexibility to work with any form of portfolio that you want to work for. Now, if you are creating a portfolio of Google Drive, the major things you should be looking at is these 5 core things, which is your root folder, the niches, the brands, the campaigns, and the elements. So let me explain this for you. Now, if you are going to be creating a portfolio of Google Drive, so your Google Drive, your home is your root folder, right? So you are going to create a root folder that you will call your portfolio. Take, for instance, your name and your portfolio. So don't worry if this seems like a bit of confusion for you. We are going to be doing this hands-on tomorrow. So you are going to create a root folder named your portfolio. Take, for instance, James portfolio, right? Now, inside your portfolio, you're going to have different niches. Now, inside those different niches, take, for instance, let's say you have the spirituality niche, you have relationships, you have financial, make money online, that's MMO. Then you have, you can have more or less fitness, right? So these are 4 different niches. Now, for each niche, you're going to open the folder for the niches, and then you're going to create subfolders inside to demonstrate different brands that are in that niche. Now, for each brand, you are going to create a campaign folder, and then the campaign, then it's going to have the various elements that make up the campaign. Take, for instance, you are writing a sales page for a brand. So inside the name of the brand, which is the brand folder, you're going to have another folder that is named sales page for that particular product. If it the name of the product and then the sales page for the product, right? That's how you're going to name it. And then inside that, you're going to display all the elements, maybe your VSL, maybe you wrote a script, video scripts, maybe you wrote adverts for that particular sales letter. All those elements are all going to be inside it as part of your structure. Now, for the content, we talked about the content which I've been able to talk about. I call them elements on the other area, but it's the contents that make up that particular portfolio. So for you to look at contents that can be in your portfolio, you're looking at ads, you're looking at landing pages, you're looking at opt-in pages, you're looking at thank you page, you're looking at video sales letter scripts, you're looking at articles, you're looking at blog posts, indoctrination sequence, which is your email sequence. Then you're looking at your follow-up sequence, which is emails. Then we are looking at newsletters and then cut abandoned emails. So whatever content you are going to be writing for whatever brand you are working for, all of these things are going to be found inside your portfolio, and they are going to be the elements or the contents that make up your portfolio. Now, here is the problem that we encounter, or problem that most beginners encounter, especially when building a portfolio. So I call it the loop. So now, for you to build a portfolio, you need to have worked with clients, right? So this is the belief that people get. However, you cannot get clients if you don't have a portfolio. So it keeps you in a loop of, it's like a chicken and egg scenario whereby, or which comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? And that's another thing that happens. So which comes first? Is it the clients or the portfolio? So you find yourself in this loop and you are wondering, what is the next thing that I need to do? So what can I do? For me, I tell people, all you have to do is to take the bull by the horn, and you can do this by doing two core things. So one is by offering a free service. So whatever service you are offering to clients, you are going to look for clients that may need your service in the future, and then you're going to offer it to them for free. Now, the second way to go about this is by crafting something known as a mock-up portfolio. So a mock-up portfolio is what I'm going to teach you now. And how am I going to teach you? So I talked about the loop, right? So what I tell people is that the best way for you to jump the loop is to use funnels. Now, because I believe so much, and I have this favorite quote of mine, I say, behind every successful marketing campaign is a funnel. So if you are able to understand the principles of funnels and the how to, outline and map out funnel building, which is one of the things we are going to be learning at a later time in this challenge, okay? So if you are going to understand how to map funnels using automation and all of those things, then you will be able to be a successful, you are going to be able to build a successful portfolio that can help you attract those high-paying clients, okay? So let's look at a funnel. What exactly is a funnel? I tell people a funnel is simply defined as a series of steps or processes that your client, that your prospect has to go through before they become your customer. It's just a projected pathway that you want your customers to follow. So you are the person that is in control of the funnel, right? So you are the one that can decide what you want them to do. So you want to guide them from one place to the other. It's just like a shepherd does for his sheep, right? So that is what you want to do for these people, because you understand that they are at point A and you want to take them to point B. Your funnel is that mechanism that drives them from point A through point B without them experiencing any hiccups. Now, for us to better understand what funnels are or different types of funnels, this is just like a quick crash. We are going to delve deeper into funnels at a later stage in this course. So for you to understand the different types of funnels, so there are webinar funnels, there are quiz funnels, there's a consultation funnel, which I've built, there's tripwire funnel, there's book selling funnel if you want to launch a book. There's product launch funnel if you are launching a product. Then there's lead generation funnel, which is known as lead gen funnel, one of my favorite funnels to build out. Then you have social media marketing funnel, all right? So there are a whole lot of funnels. I just had to outline just these few. There's a whole lot of funnels out there. So depending on what you want to achieve, there's a funnel for your podcast, right? So call it podcast funnel. So depending on what you want to do. So if you want to grow your Instagram channel, there is also a funnel for that, right? I can also build out funnels using different automation platforms. Like for instance, the recent project I was handling had to do with building out a funnel using ManyChat. So I had to build out an automation using ManyChat. By the way, for those of you that don't know what ManyChat is, so ManyChat is a tool that is used for Instagram marketing, right? Where you get to, it's an autoresponder tool. So take, for instance, you want people to comment a particular word and then get a particular message sent to their DM. So once they comment the word, the ManyChat automation triggers that particular automation flow, and then the customer who made that comment is taken through that particular flow and through the sequence. Now, this is what a typical webinar funnel looks like. So there's the adverts right here. So depending on the kind of advert you're using, for long form for Facebook, and it's showing up, this is just for where the advert is showing up. So the advert takes them straight to the webinar registration page. So once they register, they are moved straight down to this place, their thank you page. And once they get to the thank you page, there's something that is happening in the background here, which is they are going to get the confirmation email. And then from there, they get the welcome email. Then they are going to get a couple of email reminders to remind them that the webinar is live. So once they get the thank you page, if they inputted their numbers, they also get to get a message reminder that is taking them in through this flow. So they get an email 3 hours before, email 1 hour before, an email that tells them it's starting now. And all of these emails will be leading them into the live webinar page, okay? And in case they leave early, they are sent a message that takes them back to the registration page, because you want them to go through this flow again, right? So for the people that attend this, they are retargeted with Facebook adverts. So this is known as a retargeting advert. And then it takes them straight into a free trial. And same thing with this. And the free trial brings them down to the other page, right? So from the live webinar straight down to the other page. Now, this might look like a lot of work for you, okay? But don't worry, we'll get to it. This is even a basic, simple funnel. There's a particular funnel that I designed on a consultation funnel. And it's a webinar, an evergreen webinar funnel, that runs into consultation. So you can see sometimes you might have multiple funnels merged together to form one funnel, okay? So if you go to my YouTube page, you're going to see it there. It's an evergreen webinar funnel. I mapped it out. It's very complex, more than this, okay? So this is a basic funnel, just a typical webinar funnel. Right, so I want to show you another funnel. So I talked about a consultation funnel, right? So this is just like the normal, this is just the basic wireframe. It's nothing too complex, at least it looks simpler than the last one we just saw. So it takes you from the website or blog post or your Facebook retargeting advert, okay, right into the Facebook retargeting advert. So I've explained to you what a retargeting advert does. What it does is that you create an advert that targets people that have engaged with your content. Take, for instance, people that visited your website, blog. Then you're going to create an advert that is going to target these people. And what happens is that when this retargeting happens, they get to come back to the website or the landing page. And of course, maybe when they get to the landing page, it can be the landing page or even a free webinar, right? Or it might be a consultation offer. It depends on the advert that you want to retarget them with. So when they do that, they sign up and then they attend your webinar. When they attend the webinar, if they buy your service, and you now create a campaign that makes them share the testimonials on, it's known as UGC, right? So it can be a UGC campaign. UGC stands for user generated content, and then their friends see it and then click on it to make purchase, right? But if they don't get to buy this, you send them through an automated email sequence, giving them a discount, and then you tell them to sign up for a free consultation, right? So once they sign up for a free consultation, you close them on the sale and get them to buy the service. So this is what it looks like. This is a bit, it has a lot going on in the background. If I want to map this out, it would have made more sense. But with this, it's just for you to be able to understand this, how simple it is for you to map out a funnel. Right. So now for a course sales funnel is a bit complex, as you can see from this. So let's take, for instance, you make a Facebook group post. So what is going to happen is that someone visits the landing page, and the landing page is offering or selling a free mini course, right? So we are selling a course here. So someone signs up and they sign up for it. And the free course is just a lead magnet that is going to help you sell your course. So they sign up and receive an automated email in form of a drip campaign. So it's just a welcome series, right? So this is just English. And when they do that, they go through it and then they receive an upsell offer, which is the main course. But if they don't open the email, then they're going to receive a couple of reminder emails for them to open the email. And if they get this email, they're going to visit the sales page and then they buy the service. For those that buy, then you do the UGC campaign, and for them to get referrals. It can be a UGC campaign. It can be an opportunity to call them to become affiliates, depending on how you want to remarket your product to other audience or how you want to use your leverage on your existing customers, right? But let's take, for instance, there is a scenario where they don't get to buy. So they are going to receive another email that is offering them a limited time offer and a discount, okay, and which will still bring them down to buy your course. So looking at all of these things, you might be wondering, okay, this looks so much. I'm going to try as much as possible to break it down so that you understand how this is going to benefit you. So we were talked about using the funnel to jump the loop. So how exactly are you going to be able to use this funnel to jump this loop? It's simple. I've outline them in 5 simple steps. And the first one is for you to choose the type of funnel you want. So what type of funnel do you want to write for? So do you want to write for a consultation funnel? Do you want to write for a book launch funnel? Do you want to write a lead gen funnel? So what exactly do you want to write? So when you figure out what funnel you want to write for, the next thing you want to do is to look at the schematic sketch of the possible outcomes. So what do I mean? This is just a way of me saying you are going to map out your basic funnel, okay? You don't even need to sketch it out, right? So, but if you can, it makes more sense, sketching it out because it gives you an idea of everything you want to do. So what you want to do now is you map out your funnel, okay? Is it going to move from ad to landing page, from landing page to thank you page, or is it moving from ad to opt-in, from opt-in to thank you to upsell? How do you want it to flow? Right. So once you've been able to do this, the next thing you want to do is to outline what components would you need to make up your funnel. So when you've been able to outline these components, you are going to write a copy for each of these components individually. And once you are able to do this, the next thing after that is to assemble it into a portfolio. It is that simple. Now, for the very first one you are going to do, right, so we are going to be doing assignments at the end of this because those assignments are what we are going to use to do our activity for tomorrow, which is coupling and assembling our portfolio. So today we are looking at writing out our portfolio, okay? And this is just a basic, simple sales funnel, right? From advert, so you are going to write an ad copy that leads to a sales page. And if possible, you can incorporate a video sales letter if you can write a VSL. But if you don't know how to write a VSL, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. You can just make sure that the VSL is part of your sales page and is highlighted as part of your sales page. So you are going to move from advert to sales page, then from sales page to upsells. Now the upsell is optional. You can decide to do it or you can decide to omit it, right? So add to sales page to upsells, upsell to checkout. Okay. Now, focusing on this particular funnel that we have, the next thing we want to do is to proceed to write our first advert. Now, this is our practice exercise. I call it the warm-up exercise, right? So the next thing is for you to implement a few things that we've learned from the Copywriting Secrets books. Copywriting Secrets book. I recommended this book for those of you that got started. So I don't know how many of us have been able to go through this book and have been able to finish it up. So for those of us that have finished the book, we are going to be using the book as a guideline for us to be able to write our first advert. So what you have to do is to, first of all, get the book and write out all headline formula as well as the formula for feature and benefit. Now, I know most of you have done this exercise because I remember going through it with you. Now, for those of you that haven't done the exercise, please, this is another opportunity for you to go back, do this exercise, and then come back to this. So once you are done with doing this particular exercise or your practice and warm-up exercise, we'll proceed to writing your first advert using the Copywriting Secrets book by Jim Edwards. And we are going to use it as a guideline. So what I want you to bear in mind is that your advert is made up of 3 different components. So we are looking at the headline, we are looking at your hook and your body, and then we are looking at the call to action. Now, on the other hand, your sales page is going to comprise of different basic building blocks. And one of the things I tell people is that you don't write a sales page, you actually assemble a sales page. Both a sales copy, sales page, they are the same thing, right? So you assemble your copy. And how do you assemble your copy? You need to understand the various components that make up your copy. Take, for instance, your headline, your VSL, testimonials, feature and benefits, all of those things. And you also need to understand at what order do they come in. So when do you want to bring in this? When do you want to bring in this? So if I decide to switch the flow, what is my aim for switching the flow? Do I want to play around curiosity or do I want to play around credibility. So you need to understand all these things, and you need to know ahead of time what exactly are you going for. Now, just a quick tip there. Most copywriters fail because they don't understand that businesses are not necessarily trying to bargain based on price. So if you just put yourself out there as a basic copywriter and you don't have anything to offer, it's all going to be about, you are going to be battling with other copywriters based on price. But if you can understand that there is something called design thinking and process behind this, and the strategy is what can help you charge more, which is one of the things I'm going to teach you. That is what is going to help you charge more. And if you are meeting a brand and then you're telling them, hey, they are meeting you to write a copy for them, and then instead, okay, beyond this copy, there is something called the strategy. So the strategy is going to help us, differentiate your brand from other brands and present you as the sole brand that can be able to solve that problem for your audience. So if you can get to understand the thinking behind this, the strategy, that is what those brands or your clients that are going to hire you, that is what they are going to be paying for. So they are paying you not necessarily for giving them a copy, but for the thinking behind the copy. And I'm going to also show you how to demonstrate this effectively such that brands can believe in your credibility and be able to believe that you will get the job done for them, okay? So before writing your advert, there are certain things you need to consider. You need to consider your traffic source. Where exactly am I going to be putting out this advert? So is it going to be on LinkedIn? If your advert is going to be on LinkedIn, it's going to have a different flow. If the advert is going to be on YouTube, it's going to have a totally different flow. If it's going to be on Google search traffic or search network, display network, it's going to have a totally different flow. If it's going to be on Instagram and Facebook, totally different flow. So you need to ask yourself, where exactly is the traffic source coming? And the reason why you want to understand your traffic source is you want to know, are these people in active buying mode, or are they in a passive mode, or are they in active search mode? Are they looking for problems or solutions to their problems? Now, you also need to understand the buyer's journey, right? So where exactly are they at? Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? Are they brand aware? Are they product aware? And are they most aware? You need to understand all of these things before you put out an advert, because you want to make sure that whatever advert that is going out, aside the fact that you want to know which platform they are going to be coming from. So because the platforms are, you have the there are two different platforms, right? So you have a platform with intent and then a passive platform. For instance, people on Facebook are just there for the intent of enjoying, socializing and all. But if you are on YouTube, people are actually searching for solutions to problems, right? So you need to understand what platform. And after you've been able to understand what platform, you need to understand what type of audience. Are they warm? Are they hot, or are they cold audience? So all these things are things you need to consider. Remember, I told you about the strategy. This is one of those things where you get to understand the strategy, the intent, and why you are going to go for this particular thing and why you're writing it this way. Because this is going to help you know how to craft your adverts, right? So because you want to also make sure that whatever key performance indicator, your KPI that you're tracking, is also on point, right? So you don't want to write an advert directed to cold traffic, or you write an advert directed to warm traffic and you write it to a cold audience and then you start tracking KPI expecting it to convert. Most times it's going to flop. Okay. So the next thing you want to also consider is your advert creative. So what creative are you running? Are you running a video creative? Are you running an image creative? If it's an image creative, is it native? Is it a design? Is it an illustration? What exactly is it? You need to understand what creative you are going to be working with and make sure that your whatever copy you are writing is also going to evoke the same emotional response as your advert creative. Okay, make sure that everything is working together and they are all geared towards a particular goal. The next thing you want to also have in mind is the destination. So this advert I'm running, where is it leading to? Is it leading to a landing page? Is it leading to an opt-in page? Is it a lead magnet advert? What exactly is the advert going to do? Where do I want these people that click on the advert, where do I want them to get to? You need to also pay attention to this. Now, the next thing you want to consider is the customer touch point. So where exactly in the customer's life cycle are they as opposed or in relation to the brand itself. What this means is, so what exactly, how exactly have they been able to touch the brands? Take, for instance, are they meeting the brand for the first time, or are they meeting the brand? Do they already know the brand? Have they established KLT with the brand? So remember KLT, know, like, and trust. Have they been able to establish that with the brand? So are they meeting the brand for the first time? Okay, what exactly have they been able to go through? Blog posts? Have they digested the brands or your clients' videos, their posts on social media? Where exactly is the customer on their customer journey or their customer life cycle? Where exactly are they? So you need to put that in consideration as well before you write your advert. Now, the last thing is, what is the goal of this advert? So one thing I want you to understand is that the goal of an advert is just one thing. So no matter what it is, it's just for you to sell the click. Now, most people don't understand this. You see brands running ads directly, and they are selling directly with their ad. It is wrong for you to do this, okay? And I always advise people not to sell directly on the advert. So you want your advert to get them to go over to your landing page, because your landing page is your conversion element. That's what should do the conversion for you. So at each point in time, there is always, when you want to say, okay, what is exactly is my key performance indicator for your advert? Your key performance indicator is just your click. So how many clicks are you getting? So you look at your click to landing page ratio. So how many number of clicks is this advert getting, and how many number of these clicks or that the advert is getting are converting to landing page views. Now, how many number of these landing page views are actually converting to, customers clicking on the button on that particular landing page? So whatever button it is, if it's for them to opt in, so how many landing page views are leading to email opt-ins and all of those stuff? So those are the performance indicators you want to focus on, okay? Now, the very next thing, let's look at some case studies, okay? So, and looking at these case studies, one of the things I want you to focus on is, I want you to look at the ad creative, look at the copy, the angle they are writing the copy from, and then we look at the call to action and then the headline. So I will start with the call to action and headline. So let's start from the one on my left. And this is by Jim Edwards. The other one is by Alex Catoni. So looking at the images, you can see that they are grabbing your attention, right? So before, Facebook didn't allow a lot of text on their creatives, but that is kind of fading away right now. So you can use text and get away with it, okay? So looking at this, you can see that they have a headline, which is create your professional ebook in just 7 days. And then the call to action is learn more. Most times on Facebook, your call to action is going to be learn more, right? So for here, you can see it's also learn more. And before we go over to the one on my right, let's focus on the one on my left. So you can see the image creative is look like someone that is sitting down, having the dream lifestyle, right? So, and that's someone sitting at the edge of a pool with a tablet on the hand. Of course, this is a mock-up, and the tablet is a mock-up. And if you look at it, you have this how to write and publish your own ebook in as little as 7 days. That's it. So he's kind of complementing his headline. And what he has here, he says, look at the copy. Let's look at the copy and then look at the angle. Say, finally, set yourself apart in your industry with your own ebook or your own book in just 7 days, right? So he's trying to say, okay, you can become more credible in your industry. You can become a thought leader in your industry by just publishing your book. And he's targeting people that want to leverage their book as an authority. He's saying, now he's talking about himself here. He said, not only have I successfully been able to do this just for myself, but I've been able to help thousands of others to set themselves apart from their competition in a variety of industry by showing them how to write and publish their book. So this is a credited statement here. He said no longer does it need to take weeks, months, years to drag out all of those. So he's trying to just agitate it a bit. Say with the 7-day ebook system, this can all be accomplished quickly, simply, and not only to set you apart from the rest of your industry, but potentially create an additional income stream for yourself. So he's also touching another angle, which is for you to get an income stream. And here's the call to action. You say, get your copy now and have your very own book written and published by this time next week, right? So short copy, punchy, and straight to the point. So let's look at this other one here. So if you are looking at the image, you can see that it already has its headline as well. So it says, create a brand beyond compare and effortlessly attract your ready-to-buy dream customers, right? So this is more about attracting your dream customers. It says join the live session. It's an animated image. That's why I took the screenshot. You can see it's a video. There's a sound icon here. So when I took the screenshot, it was still writing. So it's join the live challenge, right? So that's what it's here. And it says she now put her name, Alex Cotoni, and she had a little bit credibility, marketer of the year by given to her by Digital Marketer. Right. So this copy, I couldn't get all of it, but I just wanted you to see the body copy. So if you want to capitalize on the massive demand in the industry and this was in 2022, the year you finally start your copywriting career, then I have the best reason for you to start right now. In this first of this kind live challenge, I'll guide you step by step through my powerful process branding framework. So she's using a lot of nomenclatures here. She's using naming as well. Then she also offered, if you can see that this one is more or less leaning towards the feature and benefits angle, while this one is leaning more towards the end results, right? So you say you will learn 4 core storytelling and copywriting elements to craft a potent positioning strategy and how to evoke your brand voice, create messaging that will captivate your ideal audience and charm your customers and call in real fans. So it's a whole lot of say. So click the link below to save yours. Simple as that. Okay, so let's look at the next studies. Now, for this other case study, we have a call to action here, learn more. Like I told you, most of the call to action you're going to see on Facebook will be learn more. So this person said, read this if you run lead ad. So it's just curiosity. He's going towards the angle of curiosity and he said, do this instead. So you're like, what is that you need to do? So look at the copy here. Say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Albert Einstein. So they tried to talk about the angle of things that, they were more or less agitating the problems that you are currently facing. Say, running ads for leads is insanity. And you're like, okay, say you call them, they don't answer the phone. You email them, they don't reply. You email, you repeat this for a week, and then suddenly they answer the phone. Lead says, I'm not interested. Please don't contact me again. Process repeats. This is the definition of insanity. Then I'll say, here's what you should do instead. Run ads which are specifically designed to book appointments. So their own stuff is that they're trying to sell you that appointment is the new code, right? So that's what they want to sell. They want to tell you, instead of doing all these things, instead of chasing clients, attract them by using consultation. And this is what they're trying to do. They want to teach you how to run consultation-based adverts, right? So they say run ads which are specifically designed to book appointments. Appointments is booked into your calendar. They attend appointments, new clients. Then also, what's the difference? As clients actually book this appointment with you with a time and date, they want to learn how you specifically can help them, and they actually want to speak with you. So rather than having leads that don't answer the phone or respond to emails, and they went straight up to even state their price out there. So I think that's just their way of gatekeeping people that don't want to buy. So they want to push away broke audience. So they say, I have a course called Aim High Academy, which teach you the entire process, and it's only 27 for you to sign up today, right? So that's another thing they are doing. Now, our case study is by an advert on Facebook by Sam Ovens. So I didn't get to explain this advert, but I just wanted to focus on a couple of things. So we have reflections on reality, 3 strange concepts that made me $20 million by the age of 27. So I'm a bit skeptical with this. Now, the reason why I'm a bit skeptical with this is the number. Most times Facebook frowns at this kind of claims, right? So they try to frown at you using numbers for your ad headline. But if you do that and you can get away with it, then fine. But make sure that you read, if you are going to be advertising on Facebook, make sure you read about the Facebook advert policy before you do that. Now, looking at the advert creative, we can see that the creative they are using. So the last one, we didn't really talk about creative. So you can see the creative here is they are showing their laptop and they're showing the amount of leads they've been able to book. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, wow, that's leads that have been booked, right? So if you look at this, you can see he's saying he has made $20 million by age of 27 and he's sitting in a private jet. So that actually makes the claim believable, right? So he starts by saying, never aim for your goal directly, always move in angles. And it's that a good one because it triggers curiosity. And you're like, okay, where is this leading to? He now said this defies the basic human logic because most people believe that if they want to make some money, they should try and make some money. Most companies that aim to just make money rarely make any money. This is because money derives from value and value derives from helping people. And you're like, okay, where is this going to? So it's a slippery slope that he's creating. And this is a very good copy because it's using curiosity to get you to read more of the copy. All right. Now, we talked about that other one. So remember the first one you are doing, the first assignment you are doing, advert to sales page, then to upsell, and then checkout. So this is another one. So we are going to have two different assignments. So the very first one, which is your warm-up, then this is going to be the main one, which is your writing an email campaign funnel. Now, what does it mean? You are going to write an advert that leads to an opt-in page. And from the opt-in page, you're going to write a thank you page and then a welcome sequence. I'm going to teach you how to write out all these things, okay? Now, for tomorrow, we are going to be looking at building out your portfolio, and then I'm also going to show you some of the copy that I've written so far, and you will get to see how you write it. So, because beyond writing, we are also going to be looking at the structure and formatting, how you format your copy for clients, and how you write out your copy. You are going to be using certain codes. I call them encrypts that you are going to use it to present. For instance, your buttons, you are going to have a specific code for the buttons. Take, for instance, let's say you have a text written in a certain way, and you can tell the developer that, hey, this text is going to be a button. So you're going to have like a key that explains whatever that you've done on the copy to your audience or to your clients or to the developer that is going to be working on setting up the landing page, that building out it, the whole process, right? So remember, you're focusing on writing. So you write and then you give it out to them to build. So if you want to write and build, that's another one. But for now, we are focusing on writing because you want to build out your portfolio, okay? So now this second project is going to involve you writing an advert that leads to an opt-in page and then a thank you page, of course. And this is known as an email campaign funnel or a lead generation funnel. So advert leads to opt-in to thank you, or upsell, and then welcome sequence. So it's all called a full funnel because the advert, opt-in, thank you page, and then the email sequence. So we have 4 components in the funnel. But inside these 4 components, there are also these are the components we are going to be using to create your portfolio, right? So we have 4 from here, and we have another 4 from that other one. So depending on so first thing you want to do is you want to choose a niche. So which niche do I want to write for? Then when you choose a niche, you're going to create an imaginary brand. And then when you do that, then we are going to say, okay, these adverts, we are going to look at. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at a lot of things, right? So we are looking at the strategy behind this. And then we are also going to be looking at choosing niches and then creating brands and then writing this out and building it out into a highly converting portfolio. So let's look at how to prepare your portfolio, okay? So one of the things you want to do is, before we do that, you want to make sure that, okay, you've been able to arrange and organize each element into a Word document format. Remember, I told you about formatting your portfolio elements. So you name each and upload it into your Google Drive. Now, once you have done uploading it to your Google Drive, we want to organize the uploads by grouping them into niches, brands, and projects. Now, once we have done with this, we are going to add a README document, which stands as the executive summary for your project. Don't worry, tomorrow I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to explain all of these things to you. Okay, so once you are done with that, the next thing you want to do is to show off your portfolio. You are as good as you feel you are. So one of the things that people battle with is called imposter syndrome. So this is one of the things that you are going to battle with as a new copywriter. So it's the feeling of not being enough, okay? Of not being good enough, right? But if you are able to overcome it, so one thing I want you to know is that even as seasoned professionals, we also deal with imposter syndrome. We get to deal with imposter syndrome. So no matter what it is, there are times that I might deliver a job, a very good job. I mean, this is something I've been doing for years, and I deliver that job, and still somewhere deep down within me, I still feel that the job is not good enough. Like, it's not where I want it to be, but that is the job and I should leave it. If not, if I try to touch it again, I will spoil it, because too many chefs spoil the broth. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to be looking at the important steps you need to take for you to show off your portfolio. So you need to make sure that link sharing access is enabled. Then once you do this, you are going to add this link to your mock-up portfolio on Upwork. I'm going to also show you how to do that. So depending on if you want to do LinkedIn, if you want to do Upwork, if you want to do Fiverr, whichever you want to use, right? So I'll just show you how to link your mock-up portfolio to this platform. Okay, such that it's the same way you have it in your Google Drive. So you have two different portfolios. So make sure to attach the link to every proposal you send out. Okay, it's very, very vital, very, very important, because you want to put your best foot forward and you want to show them that you can do this. And you can lastly add this to your link in the bio website. This one is optional. So that's how you show off your portfolio. So you want everybody that comes around to know, hey, I can actually do this thing, by showing them that you can do it. Okay, so that is that. So let's look at the final thoughts. Remember that behind every successful marketing campaign is a funnel. Now, one of the things I want you to do now is, for this to be effective, you need to give yourself a deadline. So I don't just want us to throw out something. If possible, if you can try to get this done between today and tomorrow, fine. If you can't, by the end of tomorrow, we are going to definitely map out a deadline, and then we are going to try to hit our goals, and we try to get to that deadline. We are trying to beat the deadline, right? So one of the best way for you to become good at writing copy is to write more copy. So people keep on asking me, oh, how can I become a better copywriter? And I tell them, well, by writing copy. And they're like, how do I go about it? Well, if you don't have clients yet, you can start by rewriting copy, handwritten copies, right? So you try to look for a copy that someone has written. If I would always recommend Gary Halbert newsletters, then I would also recommend the Boron letters as well. Then I would also recommend going to a website such as I'm trying to remember the name of the website, right? So you can go there and you can find some sales letters or sales copy that you can rewrite. Okay, so that's it. So the other one is just try to snoop around internet, find out copy from your favorite favorite copywriters that you're following, or favorite marketers that you're following, and then try to rewrite their copy. Look at someone like Dan Locke, Peng, Joon, Myron Golden, Alex Catoni, Sabri Subi, just to mention a few, and you can try to rewrite their copy, okay? Just write it out and try to understand the element behind it. John Benson is also there. There is Russell Brunson as well. So there's a whole lot of it out there. So you can just try to look at the copy, look at what they did. And make use of AI. They are your friends. So one of the things you want to do with AI is just for prompting and research. So you want to use it to understand certain things. For instance, you want to understand a particular industry. Maybe you are new to that industry. One of the things I will advise you as a copywriter is never use AI to write a copy for yourself or for a client. Don't do it. AI generates content that has already been given to it, okay? So I just did an AI course. I just studied an AI course on prompt engineering, a 6-week course on AI, prompting AI and using AI for all of those things. And the reason why I went for that is because I want to understand. So one of the things about generative AI is that this AI have been programmed through machine learning, okay? So through machine learning and using natural languages. Now, this AI, they give them a lot of information. So they give them a lot of information, and then that information is what the AI brings out for you. Okay, so if you now go to the AI and say, write me a copy, they are going to give you something that someone else has already put into them. So most AI don't give you information that is true. If you want, there's one problem that I even find with AI, like ChatGPT and the rest of it, in terms of research, is if I say, hey, okay, go to Amazon or go to Reddit or go to Quora and get me user reviews on this particular topic, and I want the 3-star user reviews and all of those things. You know, this is what research is all about when you are writing copy. You are never going to get anything from this AI. It's going to tell you straight up that, it's beyond me to access this thing, this information you're asking me to do. I cannot give you this, but I can generate something similar to show you. So it's just all about a thought model, and thoughts, I mean TAUGHT, thought model, telling bringing out an information that it has been taught to you for you to use. I feel AI, you should use it for research and to understand certain industries, just to like cut down if you are trying to just do a little bit of research. But if you want to do review research, that's when you want to do VOC data. Don't worry, I'll tell you what, I will teach you how to do VOC research. That's voice of customer research. And that's when you want to do conversion copywriting. Okay, I'm going to teach you that as well. Okay, so if you're going to be doing that, that's a whole different ball game. But if you just want to do basic research, then you can use AI to try to gather from the information that it already has and then get summary from it. Now, one of the other things you should do is you have to subscribe to mailing lists. You need to subscribe to mailing lists, and then you also need to hack funnels. Now, what funnel hacking is all about, or what it implies, is you looking at a particular successful funnel, trying to study it, look at what makes it successful, and then try to say, okay, if this funnel is flowing in this direction and it's working and it's successful, then it's something that I can hack and I can engineer it for my own funnel, right? So you try to study the flow and then you try to replicate it for your own funnel, right? Now, one thing you need to understand is that, or one thing you need to bear in mind is, when hacking a funnel, you are not supposed to copy whatever that is in the funnel verbatim. Yes, there is something known as now, there's something known as swiping in copywriting, where you get to swipe a particular copy for it. But I tell people that you have to swipe between industries and not swiping between brands. What do I mean? So, for instance, you want to swipe a copy and you are going to a copyright, or you are going to a copy that is written for a brand in fitness and you are swiping it for another brand in fitness. That doesn't really make sense. Okay, so when you want to swipe copy, you want to swipe copy from, let's take for instance spirituality, then you swipe the copy and then you move it into fitness. Now, how do you really swipe this copy? You just look at the components. Remember I talked about hacking funnels. You can also hack copy is known as copy hacking. So you can now say, okay, this particular landing page, okay, they first of all went for a headline that looks like this. They went for a pre-headline. They did, because your headline is a totality of three things: your pre-headline, your headline, and then your sub-headline. So depending on the kind of headline you want to go for. So there are headlines that you see something like copy this. There are headlines you see that is still this. So there are headlines that you see never seen before technology that is helping. So it depends on how you want to do your headlines. So there are a lot of headline formulas out there. So there are short headlines, there are long form headlines, depending on what you want to go for. There are headlines that starts from the pre-headline, and the pre-headline can be something as simple as attention all coaches, attention is just as simple as that, or this is for, or with over 1,000 copies sold, 1,000 plus copies sold, right? That can be a pre-headline. Then you have your main headline, and then you have your sub-headline, which is just backing up and supporting your main headline. So your main headline shouldn't give away your points, right? So your sub-headline is there to do that job. Your main headline should be to grab your attention and induce curiosity. Okay, so that's that for today's session. And if you were able to find value in that, please make sure to hit the like button and then subscribe for more videos like this. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on subsequent videos such as these that will be coming up on my channel. And by the way, the session you just watched is one of the in-depth trainings that I hold in my inner circle. So if you are interested in joining my inner circle, there will be a link in the description for you to book a free consultation with me, where we get to look at the problems that you are currently facing and how you can sort it out. So that will be all for now. Till next time, Michael Arisa, your friendly value mate. And remember, don't just get online, get noticed.